Alright, so it's been a month, exactly a month, with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And, well, there's a lot to talk about. I've really put this phone through its paces. Used it for everything from taking photos to editing videos, gaming, streaming, and of course using it for day-to-day tasks. And yeah, it's been interesting to say the least. Let me start by saying this. This phone is stunning. I mean, no surprises here. Apple's build quality is second to none as always. You've got this beautiful surgical grade titanium frame, a nice matte glass back that feels so premium in the hands. And the bezels, well, they're thinner than ever. You know, it just feels expensive. But here's the thing about looks, they only take you so far. When you're shelling over $1,800 for a phone, you expect it to not only look good, but integrate perfectly into your life, right? So let's talk about the performance and the experience of using this thing for the past 30 days.
I've been feeling so small, watch the clock ticking off the wall.
First off, we have to talk about the display as always. Apple has delivered one of the best displays on any smartphone ever. We're looking at a 6.9-inch Super Retina XDR display with ProMotion. That's 120Hz at 446 ppi, which for anyone keeping score is sharp. It's got 2000 nits of peak brightness in HDR. And let me tell you, that's insane. Watching HDR content on this thing is a joy. The colors just pop, the blacks are deep, and everything is super smooth. But it's big. Like, too big. I know, 6.9 inches doesn't sound that much bigger than the 6.7 inches we had on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But trust me, in the hands, it feels like a completely different beast. And that's where my first gripe comes in. This thing is not easy to use one-handed, at all. I'm constantly shifting my grip, stretching my thumb, doing that awkward phone shuffle just to reach the top corners. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it, big phones are the norm these days. But with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I could still manage to use it one-handed. With this, not so much. And that's important because if you're someone who's always on the move, constantly using your phone while walking, commuting, or even just sitting on the couch, you want something that feels comfortable. And to me, the iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't hit that mark. Look, maybe my hands are small, maybe they're not, but this is a personal thing. If you've got bigger hands, you might love it. For me, it just feels too big. Now, iOS 18, that's a whole nother story. It's probably one of the best iOS updates in recent memory. The way apps are optimized and accessible, especially with the new design changes that bring apps closer to the bottom of the screen, feels very much like Android, which is a good thing. But that doesn't solve the size issues, and this phone can still feel unwieldy at times. Let's talk about the display dimming. This is something that Apple has tried to fix with better thermals, thanks to those new graphene sheets. And yes, it does help a bit. The phone stays cooler, which is nice, but here's the thing. Even with the improved thermals, the display still dims more often than it should, especially when I'm outdoors on bright sunny days. And for a phone that costs as much as this one, that shouldn't be happening. You want a phone that's easy to use outdoors without the display dimming to manage the thermals. I find that to be really annoying. Now, the camera system on this phone is easily one of the best on the market. You've got the 48 megapixel ultra wide, the 120 FPS slow motion capabilities. It's all amazing. I've used the ultra wide almost every single day and I'm blown away by the quality of the raw photos. There's so much detail, especially when you shoot in the 48 megapixel mode. And for video creators, the 120 FPS is buttery smooth without any quality loss. The cinematic look this phone gives you, absolutely stunning. I've taken more photos and videos this month than I usually do, mainly because the camera is just that good. But then there's the camera control button. This is where my first real complaint with the hardware comes in. It doesn't make sense. It's just awkwardly placed. Whether I'm shooting horizontally or vertically, it just doesn't feel right. You need way too much force to press it down, and when you do, the phone shakes. Like, it actually causes the phone to move. What's the point of a dedicated button if it's going to mess up my shot? That just doesn't make any sense to me. This is especially frustrating when you're trying to capture something in the moment. I'm standing there ready to shoot and boom, the phone shakes. And that's where my love for this phone starts to wane a little bit. For a phone that's supposed to be optimized for creators, the camera control button feels rushed, like it was tacked on last minute. But it's not all bad. When it comes to the battery life and the overall performance, this phone is a beast. Apple increased the battery size, threw in those graphene sheets to help with the thermals, and the result is a phone that doesn't overheat, doesn't throttle, and can pretty much handle anything you throw at it. I've been editing full-on TikTok videos and YouTube shorts directly on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it's buttery smooth. Even with the A18 Pro chipset working overtime, this phone stays cool, and the battery life is much better than I expected. I can go a full day even with heavy use and still have some juice left over at the end of the day. And the speakers, they're insane, super loud even at low volumes. The studio mic feature also isn't just a gimmick. It's actually useful when I'm vlogging or capturing content on the go. It's able to isolate my voice really well, even in windy conditions. Alright, so right now I'm just testing the microphone feature, and there's a feature on this called studio mode. So right now you guys can hear the music and everything like that. You can't really hear my voice properly, but watch when I turn on the studio mode. And right now what you listen to is with the studio mode turned on. And as you guys can see, my voice sounds a lot more clearer. I sound more full, and all the background noise is pretty much eliminated, which is crazy. But here's something that still irks me: charging. We're looking at 30 watts charging here for a phone in 2024. That feels slow. Other manufacturers are pushing 65, even 100 watts. And I just can't help but feel like Apple is dragging its feet in this area. It's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something I would love to see improved. And multitasking. Well, there really isn't any. iOS has never been known for true multitasking. But in 2024, it's starting to feel like a real limitation. I mean, I get it. Apple wants to keep the experience clean and simple. But when I'm using a phone this powerful, I want to be able to open up a couple of apps side by side, do some real multitasking, and get things done more efficiently. Android has been doing this for years, and yet here we are on the iPhone 16 Pro Max with no true multitasking capabilities. For content creators especially, this is kind of a big deal. If I'm editing a video and want to reference notes, I either have to switch back and forth between apps or use a secondary device. It's a minor annoyance, but on an $1,800 phone, it's something I shouldn't have to deal with. Before we dive into why this phone isn't for me, I want to put you guys on to the sponsor of today's video, Cryptus. Cryptus is a multifunctional platform designed for both businesses and personal use. In the personal wallet, you can store your cryptocurrency in one place, keep it secure, and enjoy fast transactions. You can cancel the withdrawal within 2 minutes, which is great if you want to avoid mistakes when transferring funds. You can also receive 0.1 to 0.4% cash back for using the Crypto wallet when paying invoices. You can use crypto staking in the Cryptus wallet and earn passive income. Earn up to 20% APR on TRX staking. You can also stake cryptocurrency like USDT, Ethereum, BNB, and DAI. The Convert tool is a tool that lets you exchange one of your cryptocurrencies for another. There is no commission charge on the Convert function, so you can convert the available crypto on the platform without any additional fees. P2P Exchange Cryptocurrency Exchange Platform. This innovative platform allows users to trade cryptocurrencies directly with each other without the need for a third-party intermediary. On the P2P exchange, you can buy or sell cryptocurrency for fiat funds like dollars, euros, etc. And the commission is only 0.2%, 0.1% from the buyer and 0.1% from the seller. Referral programs allow you to receive 30% of the payment fee and 50% of the commission for P2P transactions of your referred users. You're able to easily increase your passive income opportunities with this feature. Cryptus has many great features that are useful for any online business. For instance, white labels allows you to put your branding on all payment processing. Fiat payments if you don't have cryptocurrency. Crypto processing helps you create your own processing features, and mass payouts are necessary for making all transactions in a single session. Cryptus is also available in application format. Using your personal and business wallet is even easier with the iOS app. You can download and try the Cryptus application by following the links in the description below. All links for Cryptus will be in the description, and thanks to Cryptus for sponsoring this video. That said, the A18 Pro chipset on this phone is no joke. It's one of the fastest, most efficient processors I've ever used. Gaming on this thing is smooth as butter. Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin's Impact, you name it, this phone can handle it. No stuttering, no lag, and like I said earlier, no overheating either. The new graphene sheets do an excellent job of keeping this phone cool under heavy workloads. Let's get back to the cameras for a second though, because as much as I nitpick the camera control button, the image quality on the iPhone 16 Pro Max is still incredible. Whether I'm shooting RAW or just using the default settings, the detail, dynamic range, and color accuracy are top notch. Apple continues to dominate when it comes to computational photography, and the A18 Pro chipset really shines here. I've been taking more photos and more videos this month than I usually do, simply because the results are so good. The 48 megapixel ultra-wide lens has become one of my go-to for both video and photos. And the larger viewfinder on the 16 Pro Max makes it so easy to compose shots. The results are crisp, clean, and ready to share without any major editing. For a lot of creators, this camera is an absolute game changer. But there's something I need to highlight here. This phone is great at what it does, but it's also predictable, it's consistent, but there's not a lot of excitement or surprises with it anymore. You know exactly what you're getting. The camera quality, amazing. The battery life, excellent. The build quality, premium. But it all feels familiar. After a month of using it, it just doesn't have that spark for me. Now, here's the part of the video where things start to get a little bit controversial. I've been using the Pixel 9 Pro as my daily driver alongside the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And here's the truth. The Pixel fits my life better. It's not just about the specs. The Pixel 9 Pro has AI features that quite frankly Apple doesn't have. Google's Gemini Advanced has been a productivity boost for me that I never expected. This phone anticipates what I need, whether it's automatically organizing my photos, suggesting edits, or even offering shortcuts for things that I didn't know I wanted to do. It's these small things that add up to a smoother, more intuitive experience. And the multitasking on the Pixel 9 Pro, incredible. I can have YouTube open while checking emails with a floating window of text messages, all on the same screen. The 120Hz display is just as smooth as the iPhone, but the Pixel gives me more flexibility in how I use it. But let's talk about the real reason why I made the switch. As a content creator, the Pixel 9 Pro's AI-powered tools have made my workflow more efficient. Whether it's real-time transcriptions of audio notes, the incredible image editing suggestions, or the way it automatically suggests replies to my Gmail enhances my workflow and makes me much more productive. This phone just helps me get things done faster. Now, don't get me wrong. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is still a fantastic device for content creation. The video quality is unmatched, the battery life has been stellar, and I've had zero issues with the performance. It's just that, for my needs, the Pixel 9 Pro gives me that little extra edge. So where does that leave us? After 30 days, the iPhone 16 Pro Max is staying in my pocket. But it's not my main device. It's a fantastic phone, don't get me wrong. The build quality, the performance, the cameras, it's all top notch. But it's also predictable. There's nothing here that feels like a major leap forward. And for someone who's always looking for ways to optimize and streamline my workflow, the Pixel 9 Pro just does it better for me. This video isn't about bashing Apple or saying that the iPhone 16 Pro Max isn't a good phone. It absolutely is. In fact, for a lot of people, this might be the perfect device. But for me, the Pixel 9 Pro just fits my lifestyle a little bit better. I'll be making a full breakdown on why exactly I made the switch to the Pixel 9 Pro as my daily driver, so make sure you guys are subscribed for that. But for now, if you're on the fence about the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I hope this video helped you understand what it's great at and where it might fall short. Of course, depending on your needs. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you guys made it to the end of this video, drop a dolphin emoji down in the comments below. I would love to know who my true supporters are. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. And don't forget to flex with your tech.